भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणशिरघुनाथं हितं तं सद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदं सगणललितां श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपीश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So thank you very much. Today is very important topics. The teaching of or instruction of Lord Rishabhdev to his 100 sons. Rishabhdev is the personality of Supreme Personality of Godhead, incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he appeared to deliver the message because the whole idea of incarnation to paritranaya sadhuna vinasaya cha dushkitam, to deliver the mankind from the nations of material existence. So Lord comes with out of his profound compassion, out of his unlimited compassion, he incarnated. He appeared as the incarnation to teach us, to deliver the message, so that we can imbibe it, we can follow it, and go back to Godhead. That is whole purpose. Today and this time also, Lord Rishabhdev, the incarnation of the Supreme Lord, has come and teaching to everyone, not only just teaching to his own 100 sons, but teaching everyone, so that we can follow the message and go back to Godhead. And the theme is that beyond the business of the hogs and dogs, because he started with the beautiful instruction that human form of life, especially, they should not waste his time like hogs and dogs, cats and dogs, for the working so hard for the sense gratification, because human form of life is a very privileged, very unique privilege, unique prerogative to get out from this complexity of material existence. So therefore, human form of life should not be wasted like cats and dogs, working hard for sense gratification. So they should do some tapasya, some kind of austerity to purify this material existence, which is the root cause of his suffering. So therefore, let's start with the beautiful verses. Rishabhdev is speaking to his sons. The beautiful verses. Is opening with the beautiful verses that Nayam Deha Rishabho Vacha Nayam Deha Deha Bhajam Niloke Kastam Kaman Arhate Vidbhujam Je Tapodivyam Putraka Jena Sattam Sudyate Jasmad Brahma Sokkam Tyanante. So he is telling Nayam. Nayam means not this body, particularly this body we have got it. So, Nayam Deha Dehabhuja Kastam Kaman Arhati Vidbhujam. So his idea is that you have got this human form of life, you should not waste cats and dogs, because this human form of life particularly is very precious. It's a unique opportunity to go back to Godhead. Therefore, Krishna also himself, it is stated in Shastra that after creating all this body, and when he created the human form of life, he is very satisfied. It's a beautiful verses in 11:9:28. The Supreme Personality of God, expanding his own potency, Mahashakti, created innumerable species of life to house the conditioned soul. So Lord has created so many, because we have so many sense gratification, and we wanted to turn away from the Lord to enjoy the senses. Krishna bhuliya bhogo vancha kare, nikatastha maya thare, dhapatiya dhare. So he wanted to the living entity, out of his ignorance, out of misusing his free will, and he wanted to enjoy the senses. So Lord has created so many innumerable spaces according to our propensity of sense gratification, our inclination to enjoy the senses. So supposing somebody is inclining as a like hogs, like dogs, like snake, like bird, beast, plants, human. So different category, different species is there. So Lord created all these innumerable species according to our desire and the quality or inclination of sense gratification. So to house the conditioned soul, yet by creating the forms of trees, reptiles, animals, birds, snakes, and so on, the Lord was not satisfied within his heart. So Lord is not satisfied by creating all this kind of reptiles, so many species. Jalajana Valakkana. There are 8.4 million species of life. It is stated here, this Padma Purana, that there is 8.4 million species of life. So after creating all these species of life, he is not satisfied. Lord himself not satisfied, Then he created the human life, which offered the conditioned soul sufficient intelligence to perceive the absolute truth and become free. So that's why this human form of life is very important form of life. Very particularly, Rishabhdev is telling that Nirloki, particularly this human society, we should not waste our time like a hogs and dogs, cat and dogs, working hard. Nowadays, what is same thing we are doing? Our business, what is our business? The modern society, our business is just like Rishabhdev say that custom kaman aharati. Custom kaman means hard labor. Everybody is doing hard labor, enormous stressful life, exceedingly busy life. Morning we were getting forcefully get up by alarm clock, hitting the road, going to office, exceedingly busy life, stressful, enormous stressful life, coming back in the night. So much hard labor. It's not like it's everywhere the same thing happening. Not only one places, every planets up to Brahmalok to Patalalok, same thing. Everybody is working hard for one purpose, sense gratification. Ultimate goal is sense gratification. Everywhere, this industrialization, the capitalization, this corporatization, all this, corporate world, capitalization, industrialization, urbanization, everything, the sole purpose, the sole aim of this, all the things, all this so-called advancement of technology, advancement political maneuvering, advancement of economic development, all these things, that only aim is to the dominant, the cardinal principle, basic principle behind all this endeavor, all this Herculean endeavor to enjoy the sense unlimitedly, undisturbed. So therefore, Rishabhdev is telling that custom, common, arati Viswamhar. This kind of thing also the hogs and dogs does. The hogs and dogs, we can go to India village, they will every day, every time they were working hard to find out where is the food. Sense, where is food, how to eat, stools and all there. They're looking for this food. Once they have sufficiently been fed, sufficiently taken, then they look for the sex life. So whole idea is that eating and mating, eating, sleeping, mating, depending. They're limited to that. Nothing else beyond that. So if the human form of life, which is Lord has said already, Krishna said in the previous verses, that this human form of life is a unique opportunity so that they can perceive the Supreme Godhead and they can get out from this, encumbrance. They can get out from this entanglement. After having that kind of unique opportunity, if we misuse that and if we also work hard for sense gratification, what is the use of that? Useless waste of time. Custom, common, arati, vidbhujam. If sense gratification is the ultimate goal of life, then why working hard? It is there in cats and dogs. They do not do urbanization. They do not do industrialization. They do not do all kind of plans, all kind of dreams, schemes, plans, plots. They do not do all the things, but they also enjoy the senses. Very good, they're expert in that. Like pigs, they're expert. Always 24/7 sex life. So what is the great thing? What is the what is the unique thing in the human form of life if we also engage in such kind of thing? Everywhere. It is stated that everywhere. Prahlad Maharaj telling not only here, is everywhere it is available. यक्कम दैत्या देह जोगे न देहिना सर्वत्र लभ्यते दैवा तथा दुःखम अतयन अयत्नतः. So Prahlad Maharaj says, my dear friend, born of demoniac family, happiness perceived with reference to sense object by contact with body can be obtained in any form of life. Even a flies, the small fly, small insect, they are experts in physicality. So that is what is the use of that? If an animal can do it very nicely, even any other species also can do very nicely. So what is the use of this human form of life? Human form of life after getting this human, particularly deha jogena dehinam. Yeah, Rishabhdev is telling Nayam deha bhajam niloke. My dear boys of all living entities who have accepted the material bodies in this world, and one who has been awarded this human form of life should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for the dogs and hogs that eat stool. The dogs and hogs they eat stool, that is available for them also. So what is the greatness of that? What is the privilege of a human form of life? That should be contemplated. That should be considered. One should not waste time like that. This human form of life we are not accidentally getting. This has been received after so many evolutionary process. Labda sudullabam idam bahu sambambate. Labda sudullabam idam bahu sambambate. Manusya marthadam anityam apiyadira tunnam jateta napatid anumurtu javan. Nishreyasya Visokhalu Sarvatasat. Visokhalu Sarvatasat. Everywhere available it is. All the sense gratification process, working hard for sense gratification, is available in any form of life. Again, it is repeated. But human form of life is not meant for that. Just like a Mercedes car, BMW car, Ferrari, they are not for the passenger loading and all. They have different purpose. They are luxurious car. They have a different purpose of use. They are not meant for passenger services. Similarly, this human form of life which has been awarded after many birth and death, one achieved the rare human form of life is very rare. Labda sudullavam, very rare. In another places it is stated that dullabam manusyam deham dehinam khenabhangura. Very dullava, very rare. It's not easy to obtain this after going through evolutionary process of 8.4 million species of life. We obtain this human form of life. Only 5% of all 8.4 means only 400,000 is human species. Only 5% of all species is human. So rare. That up to it has to be obtained after going through all the process, all lower species of life. Then it comes to the perfection of all species. This is the highest of all species, perfection, because this is a junction where this is a crossroad where we have this privilege of get out from this material entanglement and existence. So therefore, Shastra says that asitim chaturasaiva. Asitim chaturasaiva. It's not that immediately we are getting it. Asitim chaturasaiva lakshana. See, there is a beautiful verses. We will go to there, then come back here. It is stated that asitim chaturashchaiva lakshams tan jiva jatishu. Chaturashchaiva means 8.84 lakhs, means 8.4 million species of life. Brahmadvi purusai prapyam. Brahmadvi means transmigrating, moving from one species to another species, one body to another body. What is that? Masam Sijannani Jatha Biha Tatha Sarirani Dinna, what is that? Forget. just like transmigrate, dehinam swin jatha de kaumaram jauvan tatha dehantara prapti. Similarly, basam jinnani jatha navani grani naroparani tatha sarirani vihaya jinnani anyani samyati navani dehi. This is just like a torn cloth we are changing and taking another new cloth. Similarly, we change our body, one species to another species. How? 8.4 million per species. Chaturas chaiva lakshana. Then only we get this Purusha Prapyam, Manushya Janma Parayat. Then we got this Manushya Janma. And in that Manushya Janma, Tadapi Avalatam Jatam Tesam Atma Vimanan Barakanam Anashita Govinda Charana. If that, after obtaining this human form of life, if we are neglecting to worship Krishna, if we are neglecting to fulfill our self-interest, Nate Viddu Sarthagati Mi Vishnu, to go back to Godhead, to stop this repetition, birth and death, then this is very childish. This is childish. Barakana means childish. It's very childish. Such a rare opportunity, just like a person who is imprisoned and we have given a key to unlock this prison house and go back, get out from this prison house. But under the intoxication, means under the Maya intoxication, he lost this key. He lost the key to get out from the jail. That is very misfortune. Therefore, it is stated that labda sudallabam idam bahu sambhammate. After many, many births and death, one achieves the rare human form of life, which although temporary affords an opportunity to attain highest perfection. It's temporary. Khenabhangura means any time it's prone to be lost. Any time. We do not know. Padam padam yad vipadam natete. Padam padam yad vipadam. Every step is dangerous in this material world. It's a dukkhalayam asasvatam. It's full of danger. So then this a sober man, sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. So it is stated that after all, sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is possible only for human being. Very nice. Very nicely spoken. So the sense gratification process is available in any species of life. Sarvatra labhay, visau khalo sarvatra sat. Sukham aindrikya datta daitam deha jogena dehinam. Sarvatra labhyate. Everywhere it is there. See, ahara nidra, eating, sleeping, mating, ahara nidra, bhaya maithuna, it is there in every species of life. Ahara nidra, bhaya maithuna means eating, sleeping, mating, depending. That is there in every species of life. It is same. Hitopanishad it is stated, ahara nidra va samanyam, samanyam etam purusam naranam, pasuvi naranam. So both are, I mean, all the four things are equal, common for both the human and pasu means animals. But as far as Krishna comes, what is the speciality of human form of life? The speciality of human form of life, dharma eka adhika vishwas. Dharma eka adhika vishesha. So it is the dharma is important. The Krishna consciousness is only available for human form of life. So Krishna consciousness is available only human form of life. Therefore, one should not waste time. Krishna consciousness is stated that therefore one should not waste time. Rather, before the body falls down, the body which is up to Khenabhangura, which is subject to death, before the body has not fallen down and died, we should immediately, Turnam Patita, Turnam means very quickly endeavor. You do not know tomorrow, time and tide, never wait for anybody. Time and tide never wait for anybody. Chanakya Pandita say that Khenopi eka na labhyate sunno kotipi. The moment time cannot be obtained, even millions of cost, millions of gold coin. We cannot get back the time. Therefore, before we die, before this body which is subject to die, fall down, we should quickly endeavor for perfection. Perfection means Krishna consciousness. So Rishabhdev is also telling that you have got this human form of life which is very, very rare. Then you should not waste time like a cat and dog. You should utilize it. How to utilize it? Before we go also, there are so many verses of there in this regard, like how these people are wasting their time. You know, they do not have idea that this human form of life so rare, so they are wasting time. So Shastra is so much admonishing that why you are wasting time after getting, by good fortune a soul may obtain a healthy human life, an opportunity rarely active. But if he is nonetheless deluded by what is the best for him, O Lord, your illusory maya will cause him to waste his entire life. Entire life is wasted. Prahlad Maharaj break down this how we wasted time 100 years. 50 years we are sleeping, 20 years by old age, 10 years childhood, 10 years your youthhood, and another 10 years family life. In this way, complete 100 years we are wasting. So here it is saying that wasting our time without properly utilizing. Labda sudallabam idam bahu sambhavade. Prahlad Maharaj also teaching to everyone that no, you have got this human form of life. We should utilize from the very beginning. Don't waste time. From the very beginning. Very beginning. Kaumara acharite pragyam bhagavad dharmam hi yaha. Bhagavatam dharmam bhagavatam yaha. Dullabha manushya janma. Manushya dharma is dullabha. Tadapi tadapi adrubam arthadam. Adrubam means temporary. Arthadam means also is artha means there is some value. So it has got some value, some purpose. What is that purpose? To become Krishna consciousness and stop this material suffering, material entanglement, material existence, this existential dilemma, and this dissension, this harmony. We are threatened by we are existing in a non-existential platform. We are threatened by birth, death, disease, old age, so many other problems. Adhyatmik, adi, daivik, adi, bhautik. So that should be stopped. That should be stopped. Even Muchukunda is very nicely speaking one of the beautiful verses. Yes, Muchukunda is speaking. Labda janadullabam atra manusam kansid abhyagam ayantatanga. It's a very nice verse, this one. A person has an impure mind who, despite having somehow and other automatically obtained the rare and highly evolved, because all other all other species of life, they are evolving. But human form of life is evolved, highly evolved. And does not worship your lotus feet like an animal that has fallen into a blind well. Such a person has fallen into darkness of material home. If they have neglecting because for the sake of little sense gratification in a family life means what? Family life is a sex life. Family life is all sense gratification with children, family, all the things. If they are entangled in family life and they do not understand that they are falling into blind andhakupam, hitvatma patam andhakupam, griham andhakupam. Prahlad Maharaj say, hitvatma patam, they do not know they have fallen into the blind well. They are wasting their time. They are thinking that this, what is that called? Na asuryabaram deham, na asuryabaram deham, sada samudigna deham asadagrahat. They have accepted this material home, material body, temporary body as a permanent. As a result, always they are sada samudigna, although they are trying to sense gratify, because they are always in a very suffering condition, always in anxiety. Therefore, Rishabhdev is telling, no, we should not do that. This form of life is very, very rare. Everywhere it has been said that this human form of life very, very rare. Krishna also say that I created human form of life, then only I satisfied. A wise person, knowing that although the material body is subject to death, it can still award the perfection of one's life, should not foolishly neglect to take advantages of this opportunity before death arrives. A sober person, a wise person, they should not waste the time, foolishly neglect the take advantages of the opportunity of human form of life. They should not be like wasting cats and dogs, hogs and dogs. They should go beyond the business of the hogs and dogs. Not to work hard like day and night, enormous stressful life, exceedingly busy life. to create a sophisticated environment, gorgeous arrangement for the sense gratification, which is available in any species of life. Even the particular it is said that the stool eating animals like dogs and hogs, how much below, how much we have degraded, demoted, debilitated, declined. After getting this opportunity of human form of life, we are wasting time. So what is the solution now? Now Rishabhdev is in second line, only two line we have so many verses, so many things to to explain that. Tapodivyam putrika jena sattvam suddhate jasmat brahma tu anantam. So what is the solution? What is the instruction he is given? Tapodivyam. Tapo means tapasya, austerity. Austerity means something I am accepting voluntarily, some kind of inconvenience. Just like in Krishna consciousness, we are forbidden to take any intoxication, meat eating, gambling, and illicit sex. So these are like a little bit of inconvenience because everybody likes this intoxications, meat eating, these things, all the things. All these are the highest of sense gratification. But we are being forbidden. Why? Because we need this austerity is very imperative. Rishabhdev is instructing to his son this austerity, tapasya. This tapasya is very, very important, indispensable. Why? For self-realization. Because sense gratification, you cannot approach God. No, you will forget God. If you are so much engaged in the sense gratification, you will forget the God. Just like Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, when the Hiranyakashipu is asking, what did you learn from your, best of the things you learned? So Prahlad Maharaj immediately said that Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Bandhanam Dasyam Sakhyam Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Bandhanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedana Iti Punsarpita Vishnu Bhakti Chena Navalakkhana. I have read this, I have studied this. Best of learning is that this 9 kind of bhakti to Vishnu. Hearing, chanting, hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, praying, so and so forth. So this father was very angry. Who taught you? Then he immediately summoned the Sanda and Amarka, these 2 sons of Shukracharya. Why you taught all these things? Vishnu is my enemy. Why you are teaching very wrongly to him? No, they told that no, we have not taught. We have not taught all these things. Then how did he learn all these things? It's naturally. Naturally he has got that inclination for Vishnu. So immediately Hiranyakashipu asked, this natural, just like a magnet and iron has got a natural inclination, propensity for the magnet. Similarly, the devotee has a natural inclination for the Lord. So, but Hiranyakashipu is asking that why I am not getting that natural inclination? Why he is getting? To answer this, Prahlad Maharaj is very nice word. Martinna Krishna Parata Swatapa Mithopi Pradyad Grihyavartanam Adanta Gobi Vishatam Tamisram Punna Punna Charvitam Charvananam. Very beautiful verses it all. So that why this sense gratification is not recommended? Because when you are so much engaged in sense gratification process, what will happen? This verse is very nice and 5. So what happened that Matinna Krishna Parato, this Krishna consciousness, the attention to Krishna consciousness, Krishna consciousness mind or inclination to Krishna consciousness will not sprout up, will not arouse. That means we will lose our interest. Whole our living entities, particularly human form of life, his main interest is to go back to Godhead, to develop the love or inclination, attachment for the Lord. Nati viddu swartha gatimi Vishnu. Our swartha gatim is self-interest, our purpose of life to develop love, to develop attraction, attachment for the Supreme Lord. But when you are so much adhanta govir, means unlimited, uncontrolled sense gratification, unbridled sense gratification, then this inclination for the Lord will not arouse. As a result, we will miss the destination. We will lose, our self-interest will be defeated thoroughly. Self-interest of going back to God had defeated thoroughly. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj is telling, no, 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 our self-interest is to go back to Godhead. Now you are, if you are so much interested in all the sense gratification process, then you are going to, he is telling this in another Jathai Purusha Vishnu Pada Pasarpanam. That means that the human form of life afford once a chance to return home back to Godhead. Therefore, every living entity, especially in human form of life, must engage in devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord Vishnu. That is the human form of life best interest. But here, if one is very much engaged in the sense gratification process, neither from the both. Because Grihavartanam means he is bhav, he is determined to enjoy the senses unlimitedly. Therefore, he is entrapped, pathetically entrapped in this material existence. Birth after birth, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jastare. He is entrapped very pathetically in a very excruciating situation of birth, death, disease, old age, adhyatmik, adi daivik, adi bhautik, so many problems. Padam, padam, yad bipadam, material existence. But he does not know that. He is so foolish. Therefore, he could not arouse Krishna consciousness. Nate Viddu Swatha Gatimi Vishnu Durasaya Bahirathmanina Andha Jathandai Rupaniyamana Tepisha Tantra Murudham Nibatta. Person who are strongly entrapped by the conscience of enjoying material life, who have therefore accepted as a leader or guru a similar blind men attached to external sense object, cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead, engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As a blind man guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into ditch. Material attached men led by another material attached man are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor, which are made of a very strong cord. They continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering threefold of misery. Punna charvitam charvanana. Same thing they're chewing, same sense gratifications. All these different species of life, their sense gratification process is the same. Nothing different. No different. But repeatedly they are chewing which is chewed. And they are kirpana, they are not satisfied. Still going on. Still going on. Prahlad Maharaj is telling, still going on. What are you doing all these things? Eh? They have no idea. So, Tripanthidam, what is that verse? Yan maithunadi grihamadi sukhami tusam kanduneneya karo. Bahu iva dukkha dukkham tripanti neha kripana bahu dukkha dukkha bhada kandutya manusijam vishetadira. Beautiful verses. So what they are doing, punna charvita charmananam, again and again, same kind of sense gratification, same sex life, same eating, same sleeping, same mating, same defending. It's like compared to a rubbing of two hands to relieve an itch. Grihamedis, the so-called grihastas who have no spiritual knowledge, think that this itching is the greatest platform, this is zenith of happiness, greatest platform of happiness, although actually it is a source of distress. They have no idea that because of this inclination, this uncontrolled sense gratification, we have been entrapped in this material existence and suffering from one body to another body. We are repeatedly taking birth and death. We are repeatedly, flying from one species to another species, one mother's womb to another mother womb, and undergoing the repeated birth and death, undergoing the suffering, unlimited suffering. We have no idea, no spiritual knowledge. So therefore, it is Prahlad Maharaj is very nicely saying that the kripanas, the fools who are just the opposite of Brahmanas, are not satisfied by repeated sensation. They are not satisfied. Therefore, they are punna charvatam charvanana. Going on, going on. Because there is nothing, no rasa is there, just like a chewing gum. We chew, chew, chew. What is this rasa? Nothing there. Those who are dhira, however, who are sober, who tolerate this itching, are not subject to the suffering of fools and rascals. So here it is very nicely said. But those who are dhira, sober person, they do not, they are tolerant. Tang titikkhasya Arjuna, tolerate. all this distress, all this itching sensation, all this titillation, stimulation, all this enticement, allurement of the Bhairathamanina, allurement of Maya. Allurement of Maya. Prabhupada very nicely, Prabhupada has given a very nice story in this regard. So he was telling very nicely that one husband and woman is there, and the woman is very, very chaste, his wife is very chaste, husband is very leprosy and some kind of diseased person and poor. And in that city, in that village, there was a very nice prostitute is there, which is very high class, very sophisticated prostitute, who is charging very high rate. And he do not entertain all the poor class of people. But that husband has a desire to entertain one day with prostitute. So, and he was very disturbed, and wife came to know. Then wife went to this chaste wife went to the prostitute and did some survey, render service. And prostitute are asking, you are rendering service, but you are not taking any money. What is your purpose? Then she revealed that my husband wanted to have a date with you one day, want to entertain with you, satisfy, entertain with you. So okay, fine. In that date you come. So when the wife husband came, the husband came to this house, prostitute house. Prostitute like hospitality in Vedic system. Our hospitality is there. Anybody, the guest will come, we will feed nicely, sumptuously. That is the Vedic system. India also it is still prevailing. So when this guy in this man came, the poor man, the diseased person, he came. So he was being fed. He was being offered the food, served the food. So the same food he served in two plates. One is gold, one is silver, one is normal plate. So then this man asked, why did you serve the same dishes in two different plates? Then the lady, the prostitute, asked him to taste first. Then he tasted both. Then she asked, is there any difference in taste? Then this man told, no difference, it's the same dish. Then the prostitute said, the sense gratification you wanted to with your wife and with me, what is the difference? It's the same thing with different plate, golden plate, this one. What is the difference then? The dog is eating on the street, we are eating in a very restaurant. So far as in sense enjoyment is concerned, dog is enjoying his senses as good, as much as we enjoy senses, having eating in a very palatial Taj hotel, Oberoi hotel. No difference, no qualitative, no quantitative difference in both the cases. Rather, it has been found that pigs and pigeons are very good in that. They are very nicely, they enjoy more than us. So there is no difference so far as business is concerned. Therefore, why the human form of life unnecessarily waste like a cat and dog, working hard day and night and waste his very valuable human form of life, which is subject to death, which is subject to be lost any moment, for the sake of sense gratification? No, that is not a good proposal. Therefore, very beginning his instruction, his opening instruction, Rishabhdev told that very important instruction. This is very important, that one should not waste time like this. So what to do? Topodivyam, do the austerity. Austerity for what? Austerity for controlling this sense gratification, minimizing the sense gratification of eating, sleeping, mating, depending. For what? For divyam, self-realization, God realization. To understand, nate viddu swartha gatimi, to understand the God. God realization, self-realization. Putra ka jena suttam, for what purpose we will do the austerity? For self-realization. Sattam suddhate, to purify our material existence. At present we are sangajukta doso, we are contaminated by material existence. We are contaminated. As a result of our contamination, just like you are contaminated or contracted by some virus, you are suffering for a disease. So we are also contaminated by the material existence or Maya, material energy of the Lord. And we are suffering for a disease called Bhavarogo. Bhava means to be. We become somebody else. Bhavarogo means repetition of the birth and death. We are repeating the birth and death. We are under the vicious cycle of birth and death. obnoxious cycle of birth and death since time memorial. There is no cure. The Bhavaraga is going on for since time memorial. The disease we are suffering, the repetition of birth and death is going on since time immemorial. So we have to purify that. We have to cure that disease. You have to purify our material existence. How? Simply is tapasya. Minimize the sense gratification. What is the result benefit of doing all the things? Jasmad Brahma Sokam tu Anantam. So Rishabhdev is telling that Brahma Sokam, we are working hard for a temporary satisfaction. The body is temporary. And all our so-called paraphernalia for sense gratification, our wife, children, treasury, everything also temporary. Beautiful verses. I'll show you. Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam has an answer for everything. This is Prahlad Maharaj is teaching to his classmate. Wonderful verses. One reaches beautiful wife, female friend, one son's daughter, one residence, one domestic animals like cows, elephant, horses, one treasury, economic development, sense gratification. Indeed, even the lifetime in which one can enjoy all these material opulences are certainly temporary, flickering, since the opportunity of human life is temporary. What benefit can this material opulence give to a sensible man who has understood himself to the eternal? Because this is a temporary, everything is temporary, everything has got an expiry date. All our riches, our animals, our cows, treasuries, money, economic development, friends, wife, everything, sons, daughter, everything is temporary in this world. So what benefit we will get is a flux of sign. This is temporary happiness. Maya sukha is temporary happiness. Therefore, Rishabhdev telling that if you do the austerity, you will get Brahma Sokyam, Anantam, unlimited Brahma Sokyam, unlimited pleasure. Ramante Jogina Anante Chityananda, Ramante Jogina Anante Nityananda Chidatmani, Satyananda Chidatmani. Ramante Jogina Anante, the yogis, the sober yogi, this saintly person, they do not derive all this pleasure temporary. They are after this Ananta Sukham, Satyananda Chidatmani, which is very much permanent happiness. Permanent happiness. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says that those who are foolish, they are after all this temporary. But those are beautiful verses. Yahi samprasja bhoga dukkha jonaya evate adyantavat konteya nate suramante buddha. An intelligent person does not take part in the source of misery which are due to contact with material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end. So the wise man does not delight in them because it has got expiry date. It is temporary. Therefore, those who are wise person, they do not go for the working hard so much after having this human form of life. We wasting like a cats and dog, imitating a cats and dog, and working hard for sense gratification, which is temporary. That is not a good proposal. So the first instruction of Rishabhdev is that you have this unique opportunity of human form of life. Do not waste the time like a hare. Do not waste time. Do not waste this life. Work hard like a hogs and dogs for sense gratification, which is also temporary. So go for tapasya. Minimize this. Minimize all the sense gratification. Austerity. For self-realization. To purify our existence, which enables us to enjoy the unlimited sense gratification, unlimited happiness, transcendental happiness. Transcendental happiness. That is the difference. That is the sum and substances of this very first opening verses of Rishabhdev. The intelligent person never. One of the also beautiful verses it is stated here. It is stated by who? Prahlad Maharaj. That all this paraphernalia is very near dear as long as body exists. As soon as the body is destroyed, all things related to body are also finished. Therefore, actually one has nothing to do with them. because of the ignorance one accepts living. Why so much attachment for material attachment? You have to purify that material attachment. Sangha Jukta doso. The Sangha Jukta doso. You should purify this material existence. Whole idea to purify the material existence. So now this is the first instruction has been given. So the second one is giving what is the solution, how to execute this one. So the two instruction even enough for all the things. Of course, he has given so many instruction. So we will go through one by one, not in one class. So महत सेवा द्वारम अहुर विमुक्ता स्तमद्वारम जोशिताम संगी संगम महांतस्तु समचित्त प्रशांत विमन्यव विमन्यव सुहृद साधव दे महत सेवा द्वारम. This is the theme of first verse. Tapasya. What kind of tapasya we will do? This tapasya austerity means how to execute that tapo. That tapo means mahat sevan dwaram ahur vimukta, the association of devotee. Association of devotee. One can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to a highly advanced spiritual personality. These personality are impersonalist and devotee. Whether one wants to merge into Lord existence, one to associate with the personality of Godhead, one should render service to Mahatma. For those who are not interested in such activity and who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path of hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equipoised, they do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They are very peaceful, they are fully engaged in devotional service, they are devoid of anger, they work for the benefit of everyone, they do not behave in any abominable way. Such people known as Mahatma. Very nice verse. So here it is said that how to execute this austerity. That Mahat Seva Dwaram Ahur Vimukta Tamodwaram Jositam Sangha. There are two ways. What is this two way? That we have to either associate with devotees and render service Mahatma, Mahat Seva. Mahatma means Mahatma. Who is Mahatma? Mahatma tu mama part daivim prakriti asitam bhajate tum ananya manasa. Mahatma is not just a rubber stamp. Popular voting, the Mahatma Gandhi. These are popular voting. No. Who is Mahatma? Krishna says in the chapter. Mahatmas are, who is Mahatma? We have to associate with the Mahatma. Mahatmastu mama partha daivim prakriti masrita bhajanti ananya manasa. They are bhajanti ananya manasa. So, son of Partha, those who are not deluded, the great soul are under the protection of divine nature. They are not deluded by sense gratification process. They know that, they are sober. They know. So, the great soul under the protection of divine nature, they are not under the Maya, material nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as a personality of Godhead, original, inexhaustible. They are always engaged. That is the quality of the symptoms of Mahatma. So, these Mahatmas, they are, therefore we have to render Mahat Seva Dwaram Ahur Vimukta. You want to open the door of liberation, then one with the association of devotee. That is very, very important, paramount important. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say that sadhu sangha sarva shastra kahe, lavamatra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hai. Why lavamatra? This is beautiful verses. Let's go back to these verses, then we'll come back again. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that sadhu sangha sarva shastra kahe, lavamatra sadhu sangha. The verdict of all revealed scripture is that even a moment association with the pure devotee, one can attain all success. Moment association. What is this moment association can do with this? Change it. What is this moment association? The sadhu sangha is so important that simply by sadhu sangha, association of devotee, we sanctify ourselves, we purify ourselves. As soon as we see him, we associate with him, we hear with him, it's sanctifying, purifying our existence. Tasmat, what is that? Suddhate. What is that? Tapodimbam putrika dena suddhate sattam. The suddhate sattam cannot be achieved by simply other process. Only process is this association of devotee. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again say, Brahmanda Brahmite kono bhagyavana jiva Guru Krishna Krupa Pava Bhakti Lata. by wandering from one, transmigrating from one species to another species, labda sudullabam, going on one species to asistim chaturas chaiva brahmadvihi manusya prapa, is going from one species to another species. But one is fortunate enough, he will associate with devotee. Guru Krishna Kurpa Pava Bhakti Lata Bija, because he gets the seed of devotional service. And by the dint of the devotional service, he can purify his existence. Therefore, the sadhu sangha is very important. They are very sanctifying, purifying, very purification, because it will open the gate of liberation. So, I will show you one more verses. So many verses in that message. So here it is say that Mahatma Kurpa bina kono karme bhakti naya Krishna bhakti dure ro sansara naya kheya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Sanatana Goswami, unless one is favored by a pure devotee, one cannot attain platform of devotional service. Without devotional service, the tapasya means what? Devotional service. This tapasya, devotional service, cannot be attained without favored by the pure devotee. That means Mahatmanas tu mam Mahatma. We have to associate with Mahatma. Mahatma seva dwaram ahur vimukta. Therefore, it is said that the door of liberation is wide open when you associate or render service to the pure devotee. To say nothing of Krishna Bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. What to speak about the Suddham Sattvate, means the get out from the material bondage. We cannot get the bhakti, also cannot get out from the material bondage. Liberation. So therefore it is very, very important. The sadhu sangha is very, very important. It is stated beautiful, O king, Rahugana, without taking upon one's head the dust from the lotus feet of pure devotee, Mahajana, Mahatma, one cannot attend devotional service. Devotional service is not possible to attain by undergoing severe austerity penances, by gorgeously worshipping the deity, by strictly following the rules and regulations, the sannyas or grasta order, nor is attained by studying the Vedas, submerging oneself with water, or exposing oneself to fire or scorching sunlight. No, it cannot be obtained by any other process. Simply by process of Mahat Seva Dwara Ahur Vimukta. So the process of austerity is that you have to associate with Mahatma and rendering service to him. Otherwise, there is no way we can get out. See, Prahlad Maharaj also same thing. Unless human society accept the dust of lotus feet of great Mahatma devotees who have nothing to do with material possession, mankind cannot turn into the attention of lotus feet of Krishna. The lotus feet, thus lotus feet vanquish all unwanted miserable condition of material life. Beautiful verses. Beautiful verses. So how important this sadhu sangha? So important. Any stage of life, the sadhu sangha is very imperative, very important. Very important. Tulyama levhaneti is very nice verse. It is stated that Tulyama levhanepi na sorgam napur bhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martayam kimussaya. This verses has been repeated 3 places in Bhagavatam. The value of moment association with a devotee of Lord cannot be compared even with the value of attaining heavenly planet, liberation from matter. What to speak of worldly benediction in the form of material prosperity, which are for those who are meant for death. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj is telling, I do not want anything, I want your association of devotee. Therefore, our process is that Adau Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha. Because Sadhu Sangha enables us to purify our existence. By process of hearing, seeing them, even seeing them also is purification. Hearing from them is purification. So many ways, their association is so even in better than even Ganges. Yatapad samsraya sutta munaya prasamayana sadhya punnanti upasprista swardhuniyapa anusevaya. It is stated that, O Sutta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, at once sanctify those who come in touch with them. Whereas the water of the Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use. See, once we come in contact with the sadhu, at once sanctify. At once sanctify. On the other hand, the Ganges, water of Ganges takes long time, prolonged time to sanctify, purify us. that how the sadhu sangha is indispensable, imperative, important to, to purify our existence. Very important. Therefore, it is stated that even any stage of the life, our sadhu sangha must be there. Any stage of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Hoye Sadhu Sangha Krishna Prema Janme Tena Punna Mukhya Anga. The root cause of our devotional service to the Lord Krishna is association with advanced devotee. Even when one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, association with devotee is still most essential. Any stage, even after we are Krishna consciousness, but sadhu sangha is there, always important. Sadhu sangha is very important, all stages of life. So therefore, here it is stated very nicely that how to do the austerity to purify your existence. Mahat seva dwaram ahur vimukta. First line. First line. There are so many verses is there. We have no time. Still, I will show you some verses. In first line only, we have so many things to be spoken. The beautiful verses is there. My dear Uddhava, Krishna spoke, I am personally the ultimate shelter, way of life for saintly liberated person. And thus, if one does not engage in my loving devotional service, which is made possible by associating with my devotee, then for all practical purposes, one possesses no effective means of escaping from this material existence. This is very nice verse. There is no way, no alternative way other than associating with devotees, so that our devotional service will sprout up. Guru Krishna Kripa Pava Bhakti Lata Beej. The devotional service we can obtain by the Bhakti Lata Beej, that by associating with Guru or Mahatmas. So very important. These verses are excellent verses. First line only so much. Sassangalabdya bhaktya maimam saupasita savai me dastitam samsadvir anjasa vindate padam. One who has obtained pure devotional service by association with my devotee always engage me in worshipping me. Thus he easily goes to my abode, which is revealed by my pure devotee. How important, how many times this same instruction has been repeated. So same instruction has been repeated so many times, so many places, that sadhu sangha, the association with Mahatma and rendering service to them, is very important. The Lord peace, absolute knowledge are ultimate shelter for those who are repeatedly rising, falling within the fearful ocean of material life. Such devotees are just like a strong boat that comes to rescue person who are at the point of drowning. So they are like a strong boat. Samasrita pada pallava. This is a insurmountable material existence. And devotees are like a boat, safe boat. Strong boat to rescue the person who is drowning in this material ocean. How important the devotee association. Paramount, tremendous, stupendous, gargantuan important. My devotee Vishnu divine sun allows only external sight. That only when it is risen in the sky. My devotee are one's real worshipable devotee, real family. They are one own self. Ultimately, they are none different from me. See? Lord is equating with him. Therefore, Mahat Seva Dwaram Ahur Vimukta. First, this is the process. This is the process. This is the process is there. Let's see this verse. My favorite verses. Prasangam majaram pasam atmanam kavaya vidu saeva sadhu sukrita moksha dwaram apavritam. Very beautiful verses. Every learned man knows very well that attachment for material is the greatest entanglement of the spirit soul. But that same attachment, when applied to the self-realized devotee, opens the door of revelation. Same thing. Sadhu seva krita. Very nice. Prabhupada used this word. Saeva sadhu sukrita. When same attachment applied to the sadhu, saeva sadhu sukrita, moksha dwaram apavritam. The door of liberation is open. That is the benefit, that is the important significance of sadhu sangha. Mahat seva dwara mahur. These verses is repeated in one place, two places. I mean, other places also. So the Soeva sadhu sukurta 323:55. Sanghaye samstre hetu. Association of sense for sense gratification is certainly the path of bondage, but same type of association performed with a saintly person leads to path of liberation, even if performed without knowledge. See? Like Prahlad Maharaj, he associated with Narad Muni, Dhruva Maharaj, Valmiki, all these examples, Chitraketu, Prachetas, so many examples that how even there is no bar. Where is the bar? There is no bar of devotional service. What is the bar? Prahlad Maharaj is very small, Dhruva Maharaj is very small. There is no such material qualification, the criteria to obtain devotional service. No such criteria. There are so many examples that how by association of devotee they get it. Even this example of what is that Nalakubera and Manigrava. They were caused by Narada, but it is blessing in disguise. So they have got liberated. They got prema bhakti, not liberated. They got prema bhakti by Krishna. Simply because of sadhu, because of Narada Muni association. This verse is there also. Krishna is speaking this to them. Beautiful verses. Bhagavatam is full of informations. Sorry. Beautiful verses. Sadhunam samachitanam sutaram mat kritatmanam darsanam na bhavet bandha. Darsanan na bhavet bandha. Very nice word. Darsanan na bhavet bandha. Punsak akhino sabitur jatha. When one is face to face with sun, there is no longer darkness for one eye. Similarly, when one is face to face with sadhu, a devotee who is fully determined and surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one will no longer be subject to the material bondage. Darsanam na bandha. As soon as we see our material bondage will be slackened. Therefore, it is said that today's second verses, the solution to get out from this, purify our existence is Mahat Seva Dwaram Ahur Vimukta. And at the same time, Tamadwaram Jositam Sangi Sangam. As soon as you associate with non-devotees, that's all. You have lost. That is the two way. The human form of life is called junction. Junction means crossroad. Either this thing, either this thing. Either you have to choose this Mahata Seva Dwaram or you have to choose Tamadwaram Jositam Sangi Sangam to associate with the people, those materialistic people, women hunters and all. So, karmis. So, this two way. Therefore, it is called a junction, human form of life. Crossroad. Other species of life, there is no junction. There is a one way only. Because they are natural evolution process. Naturally, this marine life from the tree, plant, marine life to plant life, in this way they will come to human form of life. So, there is no karma affecting. They are going straight way. Evolving natural evolution. But for us, we are two way. We cannot, our is junction. Either we are evolved upward or you can go downward, we can stay here. Urdham gachanti satasta, madhyam tishtati rajasa, jaganya ganna vitisya, what is that? Jaganya ganna vitisya, they are going to the hell. Tamodvaram. So this is the thing. So Tamadvaram Jositam Sangi Sangam. When you associate with a person, personality, for those who are not interested in such activity, who associate people fond of women and sex, the path of hell is wide open. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that beautiful verses that it is better to accept misery of being engaged within the bar surrounded by burning flames than to associate with those person bereft of Krishna consciousness. Such association is very great hardship. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu warned it's better to get misery surrounded by burning flames, but compared to associate with the person bereft of Krishna consciousness. Who are these people? The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining that who are these people. These are people asatsanga tyaga. Our Vaishnava principle is asatsanga tyaga ehi Vaishnava acharya. एक त्रिसंगी एक असाधु कृष्णा भक्त आरव. So who are these people? For a Vaishnava, the standard behavior is to avoid association of ordinary people, not interested in Krishna bhakti. Such common people are first those who are too materially attached, especially to women, and second, people who are not at all devotee of Lord Krishna. Vaishnava should avoid the company of those two kind of. This is the injunction. Asata Sangha. Who are the Asata? Who are too attached to women and who are non-devotee of Krishna. These two people always avoid because their association is a very hardship. Tamadvaram doshitam sangi sangam. Tamadvaram means the hell will wide open. If you really interested to go to hell, then you can associate. If you really wanted to go back to Godhead or want to liberate it from this material existence, then one should associate with the devotees. Mahatma Seva Dwaram. There is so many verses in this regard. There are beautiful verses also in there that how the sadhu sangha is issued. Sangam na kurya dasatam sishnu daratripam kusit taschanugastamasya andhe patati andhanugadha gandhavat. Beautiful verses. One should never associate with materialistic, those who dedicate to gratifying the genitals and belly. By following them, one falls into the deepest pit of darkness, just like a blind man who follows the another blind man. Andha jatha andhai upaniyaman. So just a blind man led by another blind man, it will fall into ditch inevitably, surely, certainly. Similarly, when was the who associating with materialistic person, which is dedicated to genitals and belly is gratifying, then they will fall into this deepest pit of darkness. Dark well means there is very no chance, not even a slim chance, no chance. Because dark well, nobody will see you to rescue, nobody will hear you, even after you wailing, yelling and crying for rescue. Therefore it is called hitvatma patam grihakupandakupam. Grihamandakupam. Prahlad Maharaj says hitvatma patam. They've fallen down in the dark well. And there is no water. And death is sure. Very certain, undoubtedly. So this is the thing very nicely has been explained in so many verses. So we'll go back to the verses. First of all, we associate with Mahat and we should disassociate with the materialistic person. Then what is the quality symptoms of Mahatma? Mahantaste samachitta. Samachitta means equipoise. They see everything is same. No more duality. Our is duality. Ichchadesha samuttena sarge janti parantapa. See, Krishna say our is we accepting liking somebody, we are not liking somebody. This is our thing. Duality. This whole material world is duality. But they are not duality. Mahal is samachitta prasad. Samachitta means equipoise. They see everything is, because they see everybody part and parcel of the Lord. Everybody is a soul, not the body. Pandita samadarshina. Vidya vinnaya sampane. Gavini, gavyastini. Sopaka sunichaiva sopakacha. Pandita samadarshina. So those are Pandita, they always samachitta. They always see equipoised. What is another quality? Prasanta. Prasanta means they are always peaceful. Santa, asanta, prasanta. Asanta means always disturbed. Even favorable condition also they are disturbing because of hankering. Future, thinking of past lamentation, past failure. They are always asanta. Always very much not satisfied. Then Santa means they are peaceful when there is a favorable condition. They are not peaceful, disturbed when there is an unfavorable. But Prasanta means Prakeshta Rupena Santa, completely satisfied, completely peaceful, sufficiently satisfied, even though the adverse situation. Just like Prahlad Maharaj's quality, it is stated in Bhagavatam that he is Prasanta, very Prasanta. Kesavam Priyam, Prahladam Kesavam Priyam, Prasantam, always peaceful. He is not disturbed by when he was being thrown from the cliff. or so much undergoing so much torture and torment. So that is called Prashanta. Vimanayava Srihita Sadhava. Vimanayava means he has no enemy, friend to everybody, congenial, everybody is friend. Srihita Sarvabhutanam. Vimanayava means no enemies. Sruhita means friendly. Sruhita Sarvabhutanam, very well wisher. Sadhavade, he is very sadhava, saintly. So this is the quality of the Mahatma. Mahatma quality is there. Titikya Karunika, the beautiful verses is there. Titikya Karunika. They are the Mahatmas, they are always tolerant, they are always merciful. These are the Mahatma's quality. So in these verses we came to know that how, first verse we came to know that human form of life is a unique opportunity. Although we have got inherent adversity, of temporary body, but we can utilize, as long as we have this temporary body, as long as this body does not fall down, instead of working hard, wasting our time like cats and dogs for sense gratification, that ought for a temporary period. Rather we do the austerity for self realization, God realization, to understand the God. Nate viddu satta gati mi Vishnu. In this way, we will purify our existence, and which will enable us to Brahma Sokyam Anantam, to enjoy the unlimited transcendental happiness. And this process can be accomplished, this austerity can be austerity for God realization and self realization can be accomplished duly by the Mahat Seva Dwaram, association with devotee and rendering service to him. On the other hand, if we associate with materialistic person, then door of hell is wide open. Door of liberation wide open when we are associating with Mahat Seva Dwaram. Mahat Seva, when we associate with pure devotee and render service. Tadvidi pranipetena paripresena sevaya upadekyanti jnanam ganinam tatudarsina. So therefore it is very important. And what are the symptoms of Mahatma? They are samachitta. They are always Mahantasya samachitta. They are always equiposed. Prasanta, they are peaceful, perfectly peaceful. Vimanayava, no enemy. Surhidda, Vimanayava means actually not enemy. Vimanayava here proper translated as actually yes, without anger, or who are hostile without becoming without anger. Vimanayava without anger. They are not angry. So without anger, they should do that. There's a verse is there in Rishabhdev is telling that one should preach without anger, knowing that these people are very ignorant. 5:16, I think. So this verse is there. So they are like Sridham is well wisher. They're very well wisher. They wanted to uplift, like Prahlad Maharaj is telling, Sochetata vimukha chetasa, naivadajya parata paradurataya. I am not afraid of this material existence. Why? That tadavira gayena madachittam, tadaviryam gayena madachittam. I am always absorbed in glorifying you. Why I am concerned? I am concerned is sochitata vimukha chetasa maya sukhena udvahan vimudha. I am concerned about people, those who are for temporary satisfaction, temporary maya. They are so much entangled. They are so much suffering. For those fools and rascals, I am concerned. Therefore, they are Sridha to everyone, well wished to everyone. Everyone. Prahlad Maharaj would have gone to Vaikuntha, but he told, I will not go myself. I will take all of them, all these fools and rascals, those who are so much Maya Sukha Bharena, Maya Sukha, Indriya Priti. For sense gratification, they are, for Maya Sukha, they are wasting their time like a cats and dogs, hogs and dogs. Therefore, they are Sridha. Sadhava means qualified devotee. Sadhava means all the qualifications, Titikha, Karunika, all these good qualities there. Without abominable behavior. There is no abominable behavior. Sadhava means very good. Sadhava sadhu bhusana. Beautiful verses is there. It says that Sadhava sadhu bhusana. In this Karunika 3:25-21. Oh, I was searching 3:19. So in this beautiful Bhatitikhya Karunikya Srihidam Sarvadehinam Ajata Sastrava Santaha Sadhava Sadhuvusana. What is the quality of Sadhava? Symptoms of sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, friendly to all living entity. He has no enemies. He is peaceful. He abides by the scriptures. All his characteristics are sublime. So this is called sadhava. So when you associate with such a great personality, then what will happen? Mahat seva dwaram ahur vimukta. Then we can liberate from this material entanglement and go back to Godhead. Enjoy unlimited happiness. Unlimited happiness. This is the purpose of human form of life. That is the human form of life, to accomplish the purpose. But out of ignorance, what we are doing, we do not know our self-interest. This is stated by Rishabhdev in this in the later verses, that how out of ignorance we do not know that we are simply wasting our time. This is a beautiful verses. It is stated in this verse that due to ignorance, the materialistic person does not know anything about his self-interest, the auspicious path in life. He is simply bound to material enjoyment by lusty desires. All his plans are made for this purpose, for temporary sense gratification. Such a person creates a society of envy. Due to this mentality, he plunges into the ocean of suffering. Such foolish person does not even know about this. This foolishness. He does not know this. This is again Rishabhdev telling in later verses that they do not know that. They do not know what is their self-interest. Simply for temporary sense gratification, they are doing all these things. Everybody trying for this and everybody endeavoring for sense gratification. They do not know that this is going to be, mogo asa, mogo karma, mogo jnana vichetasa. Krishna also says they cannot be satisfied. They cannot be happy in this material world. There are very good verses there. Prahlad Maharaj speaking. Prahlad Maharaj also say that beautiful verses that real problem of life is repetition of birth and death, which is like a wheel rolling repeatedly. Know that. Therefore, my dear friend, O son of person, immediately begin. So this is the process, that we have to stop the repetition of birth and death. This is the last verses we will go through before we pause the classes. The beautiful verses by Kapil Dev. This is we have gone through. There is a verse there. Therefore, it is stated that satang prasangam mama virya samvida bhavanti hitkanna rasayana katha tadjasanadasu apavarga vattamani sadharatir bhaktir anukramasyati. In the association of pure devotee, discussion of the pastime. Why the association of pure devotee? It is said that liberation. This is stated here very elaborately. In the association of pure devotee, discussion of the pastime and activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberations. Thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin. So that is the benefit. Satang prasangam mama virya samvida. When we association with pure devotee, when discuss the topics of the pastime activities of the Supreme Lord, is very pleasing. Also by cultivating this knowledge, we gradually become advanced in the path of liberation. Therefore it is said that Mahat Seva Dharam Ahur Vimukta. How it is done? This is the way it is done. By process of Sravanam Kirtanam. Sadhu Sangha means hearing and glorifying. Sadhu Sangha, not that just chit-chatting, ideal talk. How are you? How is your job? No, Sadhu Sangha means always topics of Krishna. Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, that is Sadhu Sangha. So in the Sadhu Sangha, when you cultivate that one, we will advance on the path of liberation. Thereafter he is freed and one will be freed from the all material contamination. His attraction become fixed. Real devotion, devotional service begin. And by dint of devotional service, ahur vimukta, he will liberate and also obtain the love of Godhead, going back to Godhead. So thank you very much. This is a beautiful instruction of the Rishabhdev is actually speaking very nicely. This two verses is actually covers his instruction almost all full. But one more time we can go through the later verses, because these two verses is very important, because this is the main theme of teaching of main thing of the teaching of Rishabhdev. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Mantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.